Duet expenses. Expense entry. This video aims to help you understand the expense entry and claim management process. I'll use a smartphone view, but Duet will responsively resize for whatever device you use, tablet, PC or smartphone. We urge you to refer to the Duet online help system for in-depth assistance when using Duet. This is the Duet Dashboard. It can be accessed at any time by clicking the icon at the top left. Dashboard contains functions such as signing in and out of Duet, and accessing the online help system. Duet generates notifications, messages from other users about the progress or status of your expense claims. We will see these as this video progresses. You can also access expense reports with detail and summary information. Within the expense section, we have the following options. Quick entry enables an expense to be quickly recorded as it occurs. The entry defaults to today's date. It's an option you could use to immediately record and photograph your receipt on the spot. Expenses displays a list of all your draft, currently unclaimed, entries. Claims. This is a list with status of your claims. You can create, edit and manage claims from here. Offline working. If you ever lose your internet signal or connection, Duet will display a flight mode aeroplane icon. Choosing offline working will allow you to continue entering. You can upload your work when connection is restored. Let's use quick entry to create an expense. Duet will present the claim types that have been set up by your system administrator. We may be using the company bank account, credit card, purchasing on account, and of course, out-of-pocket expenses that we will require reimbursement for. I'll choose reimbursement. We are now offered a list of expense types that have been set up. These help format and control the rules for entry. For certain types of expense, receipts must be attached. Others will control the type of units you can enter, for example, miles, nights, boxes. Let's choose hotel. Optionally enter a reference. This could be the invoice or receipt number. The where from field refers to the source of the supply, vendor, website or wherever you incurred the expense. To save you some typing, Duet remembers previous entries and presents a list you can select from. The next box is for any attachments. Notice here that a red asterisk is present. This means the field has been made mandatory when this expense type was set up. You can take a photograph or attach a file from your device. Moving the screen down, I can enter the reason for the expense being incurred, type in a reason, or choose from any previous entries. We chose a hotel expense type, so the unit has been set to nights. Enter the length of stay. Input the value and the system will calculate totals. You can choose total including or excluding tax. You can expand the tax section if you need to amend or input any tax values from the receipt. The analysis section allows entry of information that your organization needs. Next, you can optionally enter any tag data. This can highlight records for later analysis. Analysis allows you to enter project and phase. The names for these will vary depending on how your system is configured. These entry fields won't appear at all if they are not required. Finally, enter any notes regarding this item and when ready, save. This completes a quick entry. Let's look at our entry under expenses. This is a great place to work from if you are entering a list of the week's or month's expenses. The expense list shows all the items you have that are not yet part of a claim. They are in a draft state and are ordered by date of entry. You can add new expenses from here. Click the plus icon. The process to add from here is the same as quick entry. Choose claim type, the expense type, and complete the required fields. Save your new expense, and it will be added to the list. You can use the Duet search tool to locate entries in the list. Let's say you find an expenses receipt from Ryman's. Have you already added it? Its value is £88, let's try searching for that. The list will reduce to only records that match. You could also have searched on name. Each of your expenses entries in the list has an items menu. Delete entry. Remove this entire expense. Clone entry. Make a copy of this expense. Attachments. View any files attached. Add to claim. Create a claim for this expense. Create entry line. Add more line items to this expense. Expense history. Let's take a closer look at a couple of those options. First, create entry line. This allows us to add lines to this expense. Our original expense was the hotel, for a client meeting. Related to the meeting we also incurred parking charges, food and some mileage traveling. You could enter each separately of course, but as they were all the same day, and the same analysis details, it's less work to do it here. I'll quickly add these entries and we will be able to see a multi-line expense. Details of parking charges. Enter receipts for food. And the miles traveled. This expense type has been set up with a per mile allowance, and the system will calculate the total reimbursement. Okay, now our expense has multiple lines. You can use the right chevron marker to open and amend the details for any line. Also, the minus icon will allow you to delete any line from this expense. Let's look at the clone expense tool. Perhaps we had to repeat our meeting the next day, hotel, parking, travel, etc. The differences could be date and some prices, plus attach different receipts. I'll clone our hotel meeting visit and edit some details. Our clone of the meeting has been created, with the revised date. I'll move down the list and edit the meeting name. I now have all the expenses for this period entered. Time to make a claim. Open the claims form. We will see a list of the claims within the system. Each one shows its type, and also current status within the workflow. Let's look at the claim at the top. It's for furniture bought using the company bank account. Expanding the line item menu gives us options. This claim has not been submitted, so we could delete it. The claim can be viewed to examine the expenses it contains. Attachments, history and comments can all be seen. I know there are other pending expenses purchased using the company bank account. So, before submitting this claim, I'll add them. Select the Add Expense option. The system attempts to find expenses of this type and adds them to my claim. Now, the claim shows 3 bank-related expenses. It's time to submit this claim for approval. Choose the Submit option. The claim status has been updated to Submitted and is waiting for approval by our manager. On the list we can see another claim that has been declined, and one that is partially approved. We will see how to manage these. First, however, our manager has dealt with the claim we submitted and approved it. In the Action menu, you will find an option to requery the list. The screen will refresh and show the latest status of our claims. We can see our submitted claim has been approved. We can view the claim history if needed. When ready, we can close our claim and remove it from the list. If at any time you wish to look at closed claims, the Action menu has an option to show them. So entering expenses, submitting them on a claim is quite straightforward. Let's look at how to deal with claims that have been partially approved or declined. Let's deal with the declined claim first. Open the Items menu, look at the comments. We should see a reason for the decline. Okay, accounts would prefer it to happen next month. We could either delete it and re-enter it in August, or resubmit for the manager to approve it when ready. Let's enter a comment and leave the claim in the list. The claim is again submitted and will appear in the manager's in-tray. Our partially approved claim contains one approved and one declined expense. We can use the claim history to see the workflow. Let's open the claim at the top level and examine each line. Open the Line Item menu. The claim is partially approved, so we are going to be paid for one undisputed item. The declined item we can remove from the claim. Remove does not delete the item, it just removes it from this claim. You will see the item reappear in the expenses list. Let's return to the claim list. If I have had repayment for this claim, I can mark it as repaid and remove it from the claim list. The resubmitted declined claim remains in the list for approval. Let's return to our dashboard and open the expenses list. Here we can see the expense we removed from the declined claim. We can now correct whatever was wrong and add to a new claim. Checking the history, all those involved can see the workflow on this item. We have now completed the entry and management processes on expenses. As expenses and comments pass between users entering expenses and managers approving, they will appear in the notification section. You mark these as having been read. Duet also has expense reports that detail and summarize expenses and claims. This concludes our overview. Thank you for watching.